play that music.
What's the music? They ain't like ours, I know.
No, it's different.
Yeah. His music is tight. You heard it?
It ain't like mine. It's her.
What was that? Have you heard it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man, nice. Real
Is
nice.
it?
Yeah.
So you have your own show now, Ron?
Nah.
No?
I just got my own music.
Oh, okay. Were you singing on it?
No. Okay, 1, 2, 4, so thank you.
Just give us like another 30, yeah. Another minute or so. Promise you, I feel like I'm spinning and spinning. So, Mr. Rock, you got to put that to your mouth so you could, right there. There you go. And you can pull it closer to you if you need to. Okay. That should be good.
That's the music?
Is it? No. It's jamming, huh? It's so far away, I can't even see who's on live. Hey, y'all, that's on live. I can't see y'all from where I'm at right now.
We don't need to see you. It's all right.
But I see y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. It's going
somebody
to be a great
do
show.
there. Well, not about it,
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's go ahead and get this started. You ready, Larry? You ready? You can put one of them back so you can hear.
I hear y'all like, what the? Newbie.
That's your music?
That's my music right there.
So like some more Lenny Kravitz type too.
Yeah, that sounds good. Just listen. Just let it.
Live is on.
I know. Just let it marinate. You know, I do need to do everything that you were saying to plug it into my computer so they can hear it. Because I'm always saying, man, this music is so good, but they can't hear it because they can hear it through the radio. But you see how it makes you feel nice and like you're getting ready. Like
no, it doesn't. But okay, yeah.
It's soothing. It's so soothing.
Our music is for us. This is for you.
Right? It marinates, right?
It marinate.
I can't. I ain't got no time.
I'm getting ready to cook.
Such a flat.
You ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Me, la, 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 mo.
Good morning, Colleen, Harker Heights, all the cities close to Fort Hood, and to my Facebook family out there. Good morning. It's a beautiful day outside today. The temperature is probably around the low 70s.
Temperature right now?
60, right?
Temperature right now is 60 degrees.
Yeah.
About 60 degrees outside. And we're coming to you this morning live. And if you've seen my post this morning, it's nothing about real estate this morning. It's all about real life. We have a guest with us this morning, Mr. Larry Robinson, and he will be talking about a new program that's here in the Texas area called Lone Star Justice Alliance. And what this program is, it's to help our youth in our communities that may have made a wrong decision along their path of life and were sentenced to a life sentence. So I'll have Mr. Larry go ahead and let us know some more about it. And we also have JB in here and Mr. Ron in here. So we're just going to do a discussion base today. Let Mr. Larry go ahead and talk about the program.
Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So again, it's the Lone Star Justice Alliance. And basically what this is a nonprofit organization that was started by Elizabeth Henneke, who is an attorney out of Austin, Texas. And this lady is one awesome lady.
Okay.
She took $70,000 of her own savings to start this program. Okay. And just a little bit more about her background. She graduated from Yale, and then she got a law degree from the University of Texas.
Okay.
And she started out in California.
In California. Okay. So this is going on in California also.
She changed the law out in California.
Okay, go ahead.
She is heavy. So just to give you a little background how it all got started, this is personal to me because my son is incarcerated.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And so I was trying to, I had given up, because he got 40 years. They gave him 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, after going back and forth to see him, I saw no hope. And again, I had given up. And what happened about 2-3 years ago, the Supreme Court said that it was unconstitutional to give a youth a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So that sparked hope in me. So I started to do the research, and I found it was called a Texas Coalition Justice League.
Okay.
And so I started talking to them. They led me to one attorney, to another attorney. And so finally they gave me her name, and I started to talk to her.
Okay.
Okay. I would go to her office every day. I could never run into her. I started writing her letters.
Okay.
And finally we connected and we started to talk about this. And from there, she decided to take my son's case.
Praise God.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She started trying to come up with ideas on things that she could do. And so eventually she came up with this Lone Star Justice Alliance.
Okay. And the Lone Star Justice Alliance, it's a nonprofit organization, correct?
It's nonprofit, correct.
Nonprofit. And she started this program with her own funding. And let's go back to what you were saying about California. So she started this in California, and she's made a mark there,
Yes,
right?
yes. So what happens in California, so you can't give a child 40 years without possibly parole. So California has changed the laws now when it comes to youth. So I believe in them. I'm not totally correct, but I believe right now that they can get no more than 15 years.
Oh.
Right.
And that's if they're under the age of 18, they do it?
In other words, yeah. Right, 18.
Yeah,
I think that's a cutoff. 18, yeah.
18. Okay.
That's some good stuff, man. I like that.
Well, let me say one more thing. See, the thing about it is back in the day when my son got convicted, it was back in the 90s. And back in the 90s, they were like tough on crime.
Right.
So anything about gangs, it just got really crazy. Okay. So the science, as far as what it is that kids do not, believe it or not, the science shows that they do not fully develop their minds until age 25.
Right.
Well, that's been proven, yeah.
It's been proven.
Yeah, it's been proven.
It's been proven. But back in the 90s, they didn't have that science.
Right.
So they were just locking kids away. Just locking them away without even considering what was going on in the family, the science of them being mature. That was never considered back in the 90s.
Well, I think that's kind of along with that. People just don't have compassion for people making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's really just what it is.
Well, we do have compassion if you're a celebrity.
Or you have money, or
you got money.
You're not of.
Yeah, right. Even
a certain culture, or certain
yes, sir.
A certain, how do I put it? A certain part of your
society.
city, of society, of your city.
Uh-huh.
Right. But we in the United States is a nation of second chances.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I said, we give second chance to celebrities, legislators, those guys. Look what's going on right now.
Okay. Talk about that.
But they'll get second chances, but we don't give our kids second chances. And it just makes no sense to me.
Right.
Well, I can speak. We had a guy on our show.
Right.
That came in a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And he was very similar.
Very similar.
He was getting land, trying to get a place built, from what I understand. And when Keneshia texted me the other day, I didn't remember his name.
Right.
So I told her to go to Ryan. I don't know if he knew it or not, but I forgot it.
Yeah, so if he's out there,
I'm gonna look for him. I'm gonna look for him, bring him
if
back.
If you're here and you're listening to the show, you came onto the show a few months ago, and you're gonna do a military reform school here for the youth that may have made a wrong decision along the way. And what people got to understand is we're trying to develop programs here that the cost is less than sending them to jail, because I know that was one of the things that he was talking about on the show, is to get them into the program that he is providing,
Right.
it's much less than sending them to jail.
To housing in jail, yeah.
And then it's to go through a development program as like the Lone Star Justice. I was on their site, guys, and please check their site out. It's LoneStarJusticeAlliance.org. And on their site, it tells you and it talks about the different programs and the avenues that they're providing for these children. They're not saying that they weren't wrong.
Right.
Okay. And that's what I love about it. We're not saying they were not wrong. We get that. And in life, when you're wrong and you do something wrong, you're supposed to be punished for that. Okay. But to the extreme measure of taking a 15, 16-year-old and locking them up until they die in that place, or putting them up in a place where you have grown men that take advantage of them. I think that is so wrong.
Well, it's not just. Let's be honest about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just young men; it's young women too. They go through the same thing. So let's put that out there too.
But it's been proven that when these children are incarcerated, they are more times than not sexually abused.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
Right, all the time. And what you gotta understand too, especially here in our area, military, I did some, I Googled, I did some research. The amount of kids, military kids that get in trouble when dad is deployed.
Right.
Okay, because even in my own case, I was deployed so much and gone so much. And my son at that time was like 14, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Teenagers, I figure, okay, my son's old enough. He really don't need dad. So, I was always gone. But that's when your kids really need you. Right. Is doing those teenage.
Well, and you know what? That being said, I think the Army needs to really take a look at this because we're all in the same boat.
Right.
We're all deployed. We're all in the military.
Yes.
And the Army beats that into your brain.
Right.
You know what? Army first, Army first, Army first.
Right.
Well, now look what's going on. How many soldiers are getting out PTSD? How many soldiers committing suicide? How many soldiers, children getting locked up and bad stuff like the guy that just killed that state trooper?
Oh yeah.
He was a soldier, man, had PTSD.
Yeah.
And the VA knew about it. His unit knew about it. They didn't tell nobody. So they need to look at stuff like this, along with what you're talking about too.
Well, if I may.
Go ahead, please.
James, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
Mr. Robertson, it's a great program from what I hear. I haven't indulged and do any deep study, but let's not dismiss the responsibility of the home.
Hey,
that's where it starts.
You're right. It starts. Yeah.
Before we can, start pointing the finger at the outside entities to say, look, let's focus on this and this area needs to focus. Let's talk to the homeowners, not just homeowners in the fact of real estate, but homeowners in the fact of the parents.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
well, let me say this. I mean to cut you off. Okay. My son, they watched this movie called Blood In, Blood Out.
Yeah.
Never seen the movie and know anything about the movie.
Yeah.
So they watched this
you
movie.
Remember that movie, right?
Yeah. And I know that, and I didn't realize it back in the day, but I will tell you right now, you have to watch what your children watch.
Exactly.
You have to
monitor
be mindful of who they hang around. And all these games that they watch, that they play, they are poisoning their minds. And we as a society, we need to recognize that because it really is rotten in their brains. It really is.
Right.
So let's get back and make sure that that's why you have to start with your children earlier, because children grasp technology as early as 2 years old. So if you're going to allow the PS3s, the PlayStations, the YouTube to actually influence your child, nothing should have a greater influence on your child than the parents in the home.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can only do that with spending time with your children.
And also with that spending time, you have to also know when to step in and say, you know what, the PS3, the PlayStation, I'm taking it away because it's doing something to you. Let's get back to the basics, like you always say, myself.
But let's get back to what he was saying though. He was deployed. So now you have to decide, providing for my child and trying to make sure that you're teaching them and everything like that. when you have them deployed, and especially were you married at the time? His mom was in his life? What was going on?
Well, at my particular time, I was in Germany when it all started, and my wife and their mother, we broke up.
Okay.
So I was a single parent. I had a 2-year and a 4-year.
Yeah.
Now I had to, of course, deploy, go on field exercise at that time. So I had to leave my children with a provider that the military said.
Right.
Was,
yeah.
And sometimes it was a good situation, sometimes a bad situation.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a luck of the draw.
Right, because you have no idea what these people could have might have done to your child that would, in their care. Okay. Right. And so then when we came back to the United States, again, single parent, what was that package you had to get together when you're single?
Family care plan.
Yeah, so I had to do that. Man, I can just tell you about the story of my son. I mean, it's just crazy. And it's the military.
Well, let me say this, not to cut you off. I hear what you're saying, and I don't want to think I'm pointing fingers at you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, sure, I understand.
Look, it's hard to raise children.
Yes.
And it's even harder to do in the military.
Correct.
And I don't care if you have 2 parents there and now, because my situation was the same thing. My wife was home, and mine didn't want to act right. But it goes back to what he's saying. Yeah. It needs to start in the home with both people, not just one.
Right. Yeah.
They both got to be on the same sheet of music.
They got to.
Yeah.
They got to.
And I think the first thing we should teach our kids is respect.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. Yeah.
Because the minute your child lose respect for their parents, then next he's pretty much pretty much going to lose respect for the world.
Right. Right.
And once they start, there's authorities in the world, the police. Mm-hmm. You lose respect for them.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah. It wouldn't.
I saw that yesterday at work.
So for us as parents, for concerned citizens,
right,
to partner with the Lone Star Justice Alliance, Mr. Larry, exactly what steps will we need to take? Yeah,
I'm like, what are you looking for to broaden this?
To for one thing, to fund it, to help fund it.
Okay.
Because what it is she's having lawyers to represent these children pro bono. Okay, because what it is, the kids right now, the state of Texas is slow.
Yeah.
About putting this thing in action.
Okay. Ain't slow when it comes to the death penalty.
They sure ain't. It's quick.
Because you still got kids, even though the Supreme Court said you cannot give a child a life sentence without parole, you still have kids that are still locked up and that still in that. Okay, so she's working on trying to represent those kids and get them either get their sentences reduced. Okay. In fact, we just about 2 weeks ago had a summit, and at that summit we had families that came together that had kids that were incarcerated. Okay. And we had speakers. You had guys that would represent legislators. We had all kind of folks there talking all about this on how we can bring about change. And so basically what she's doing is she's trying to change policy. And in Texas, for one thing, the legislators only meet every 2 years. So they won't meet again until 2019.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And so she has wrote a bill.
And it's only like a week when they do that.
It seems like. Yeah. But she has wrote a bill called the Second Look Bill that addresses going back, looking at everything that was involved in that child, as far as his family, everything that was involved, mental health, whatever the case may be, go back to the parole board, bring all these things up, okay, and then see about getting this child resentenced.
Let me ask you this. Have you or this lawyer or I know anybody established like a website where people can donate to try to help you out?
Yeah, I just said the website. It's LoneStarJusticeAlliance.org.
Okay, cool.
Go on there, and it's like great information. I was sharing with my husband yesterday. What I love the most about this website, guys, and I got so excited when I looked at the website, Larry. It's not just, how would you say it, just a blob of information. It's great information. It's awareness, and it's solution. It's solution on there. It's letting you know what the process that she's working on or they are working on, and how they're planning on helping these children, not only trying to get them out of jail, but also to help them to get back into society. And I think that's very important, because just to get them out is one thing, but their minds, You have to get their minds ready for the real world because they're in a cage right now.
Right. And it's really going to take a greater level of discipline, a greater level of
just going to say that, yeah.
And honestly, what are the steps for that? You know,
For what?
To obtain a greater level of discipline, a greater level of commitment.
It's going to take a lot of teachers, a lot of programs, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because let's be real honest, they're in this situation because of
a bad decision.
Right. So understand the program is to assist them to get the sentences reduced or to get them from behind prison walls. But then, I mean, the world now has a lot of distractions, has a lot of different, how can I say it? A lot of different avenues.
Yeah.
And assistance of making bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we focus on the child or focus on the individual to reincorporate them or to reintroduce them to society, like you said? So
from the website, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but I'll just share what I got from the website is that they're going to have social services for these children. Okay, they're going to have that one-on-one and they're going to provide mental services for them. So it's not, like I say, just getting them out of jail, but also working with them mentally as well.
Let me ask you this. How many churches are involved? And before you answer, that's why I say that. All this stuff is great, but you hit the key point. Second key point I want to make. Yes, you made a bad decision.
Right.
And you're in there. But if you get up and make the same decision again,
right,
that's the definition of insanity.
Well, I will tell you that in California, where they did this, the percentages of kids getting back in trouble so far has been zero.
That's good. That's good. That's why I asked that. That's good.
It's been zero. Okay, because see, think about it. People don't understand that kids can be rehabilitated.
Of course.
Right.
Well, adults can be too.
But more so children than adults.
Than adults. Correct. Okay. And like I said, we just need to give kids a second chance.
They
well,
deserve
you know what?
chance.
I think this is a great thing, and I just, if I may, I would suggest to you, all of you, that you reach out to some of these local churches.
Oh, I'm going to. That's the plan.
You know what I mean? Because, like Ron said, it starts at the home. But if you don't have him in your life,
yes,
there's nothing. I mean, nothing's going to happen for you.
Right.
Nothing will happen, no matter what.
Yeah, but see, also, along with the churches, the military as well.
Well, yeah,
needs to be aware.
Just like all the rest of them. Listen, we all serve.
Yeah.
You know what kind of pliers need to pull them teeth out.
Well, we just got to do it.
We got to do it.
We got to do it.
We just got to find somebody that's going to listen. That's what it is.
Right.
And like I say, if that man that was here.
I'm going to find him. I know I got his information somewhere. I'll find him.
Yeah, that program goes neck and neck with this because
you guys can link up. That'd be a beautiful thing, man. That'd be a beautiful thing.
Right.
So let's talk more about the program, like the ins and outs of it, the nuts and bolts. Like I know you said that when people donate to it, they're donating to helping the program obtain lawyers for the individual youth that's incarcerated. So what else will the people be donating to?
Well, what has happened, she has put a team of guys together, okay? And again, her money, she's paying right now out of her law firm to pay salaries for
salary.
people.
Okay,
so that's needed to help facilitate that. And normally, something like this, as far as a lawyer would concern, would be anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000.
Yeah, it ain't cheap.
No, it's not cheap.
That's why they're lawyers. Yeah.
Because depending on how far you have to go with this.
Right.
For instance, she just finished the writ for my son. Okay.
And what's that? What's the writ? I don't mean to cut you off.
In other words, it's
the writ of habeas corpus you're talking about?
It's taking all the information, what happened with him, what was going on with the family.
Right, yeah.
And requesting that basically he be resentenced or overturned.
At least they look at it, yeah.
So it's got to come down here to Bell County. Now let me tell you something about Bell County.
Ooh, boy, you gotta tell me, but go ahead.
But the DA for Bell County has said that he agrees with the point of the science as far as the kids go.
Right.
Okay.
But he says that should only be implemented now, not affecting those kids that have already been put and locked away.
See, that's not fair.
It's not.
No.
But that's what he thinks should be done. But anyway, back to what you're saying. So anyway, so it's also for these programs, like you said, the social services, helping to find jobs, just get them reacquainted with with the world, period. Because so many things have happened, cell phones.
Does she have a Facebook page set up for this?
Oh, yes. She has Facebook.
What's the Facebook
do you have one set up?
What it is, I use my own Facebook. So every Tuesday, I'm going to be coming on, and it's called Giving Tuesday. I'm going to be asking for money for folks to donate. I also talk about my own personal experience and just getting more and more information out there about what's going on.
Can I give you a suggestion on how to help them?
Sure.
There's a lot of clubs around here, a lot of bike clubs.
Okay.
And there's a lot of car clubs around here.
A lot of community activists
that would love to do things like this because it gives them recognition. Because just like what you're talking about, all these clubs got bad negative publicity too.
Okay.
And when they see something done in a positive light causes positive change.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So reach out to them.
Okay.
And this is just starting in a sense, like he's just getting into it. So
yes,
it's a start. And I know there's a lot of people out there on Facebook. There's a lot of people listening on the radio. And like you say, the car clubs, the bike clubs, I just pray that it just be infectious and people just grab a hold to it because yesterday for him, today for somebody else, tomorrow for somebody else. And it will be a sad day if this was your household torn apart like this and the system just won't bend or just move a little bit for you. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand it until it hits home. I have 3 boys. Yes. I have 3 boys. And when Larry talked about it, it resonated. And then to go on the website, and then I saw him on Facebook, and I was just like, oh my gosh, to put yourself in that shoe. And I have 3 sons myself. That hurts. That hurts to see that they get torn apart and then I can never see them again for life, especially when they weren't the ones that committed. Yeah, you were an accessory, and I wouldn't tell my son, hey, you weren't wrong. You were wrong. But at what point do we say enough punishment?
Well, and also just to say this, look, you're more than welcome to come to my show and talk about it Saturday morning.
Okay.
We have a lot of fun in my show, a ridiculous amount of fun in my show, but
this is serious.
This is serious business. Really come on, talk about it, man. Seriously.
Well, and let me something you just touched on just remind me. In Texas, it's called the law of parties.
Law of parties.
So now, with my son, he was part of the crime, but there was an individual that was killed. That was not part of the plan, but it happened.
Right.
Now, because whether you were the getaway driver or just
you're accessory by accessory after the fact.
You get the same amount of time as the guy that did it. But now here's the deal though. There are situations where children have been involved in a crime. You have an adult, okay? The adult committed, let's say the murder, okay, or the killing, whatever the case may be, all right? The child was there, like I said, as a getaway driver. There are instances right now, where that adult has gotten out of jail and the child is still in jail because the adult may have been in trouble before, so he knows the system, so he knows how to play it. And
look, let's not sugarcoat this. You know what the problem is. It's easier for somebody to say, you know what, your kids just as an example. Well, Keneshia kids, their mom ain't nothing, man. So let's just throw them away and just throw the kid away. That's the problem with our judicial system. They're too quick to judge somebody instead of help somebody, and that needs to change.
Right, but I'm just saying though, but the kids are still being locked up, and
and getting out. And see, that were part of the same crime. They know that because they, like you already said, it, brainwashed. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So let me ask you this, Mr. Robinson: Does once the child becomes an adult, then what happens in the judicial system?
Is he lost in the system or?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's nothing in the system that is set up to re-educate, I guess you would say, the child. More or less, you might find a church that's doing things, but there's no said program in the majority of Texas prisons.
Well, see, this is why I brought that to your attention, because I had a cousin that happened to him. He got incarcerated. He got out and killed himself. You know what I mean? Because nobody was there to help him. Right. And you know what? Like you said, it's easy to point the finger at somebody, but to string more pointing back at you. You know what I mean? So you have to help in these situations, especially with you having 3 young boys.
Yeah.
Anybody needs to help, but the thing they're trying to prevent is what happened to my cousin. He was only probably 5 years older than me. You know what I mean? But I mean, like you said, that institution, that prison life, man, is real. Well, and when you get out, man, I mean, if you don't have a program in place that you guys are trying to do,
right.
But one thing I'll tell you, like even my own son, he has been locked up now for 23 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And man, I could not.
Let it be real. Go ahead. Let it out. It's all right. It's all right.
I could not have done what he has done. My son has gotten 2 degrees. He's never got in trouble. He has joined no gangs.
Good, man. Good.
Okay. And that's almost unheard of.
Yeah.
To be locked up that amount of time, not getting involved in gangs, not getting in trouble. But he has stayed completely away from that because his idea has always been that I eventually will get out of here.
Right.
You know, hey, I know how you feel. Last week in church, we had a young man jailed 20-something, 29 years, and he got out and got his HVAC degree. I mean, his HVAC certification. All charges have been dropped. He's down in South Florida. So I commend what you guys are trying to do. And if you just let me know what I can do to try to help. You know what I mean? Because
it's not me. It's Larry and the attorney. Because
these kids die in prison. They die in prison. That's what happens. They die in prison.
And that's a horrible life to live.
And they're just completely.
They never get a chance to see what life's even about.
Yeah. Right. Because like I said, I had given up. Okay, I had given up because I saw absolutely no hope. So I want you to understand how many other people are like that, and so these kids don't get any type of visitation.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
That's a horrible life.
Their family don't write them. They don't see them. So now, you know, what choice? Some of them they get involved in the gangs. Okay, and because I used to cry going to see him and crying coming back.
Of course.
And it was just. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not realize it, but I was depressed. Walking around.
And you know what? That's what happens.
You know, I mean, it was it was bad.
Well, look, hopefully hopefully somebody in this community is listening to Miss Keneshia Haye radio show this morning, and somebody,
Mr. Larry.
Yeah, somebody's hearing Mr. Larry's story, and somebody is willing to go to that website and let's get this thing going viral, man. Let's get some help for these kids.
And even if it's some attorneys out there, I'm sure whatever help anyone can give.
I don't know about
anyone. Well, you just never know because it's always someone out there that is willing. I can't just say everyone is a certain way just because they live.
Well, yeah, I mean that's
But I believe there are good people out there still, and they have hearts, and this may touch someone. And I pray that it does.
Yeah.
And I pray that it does. And once again, the website is LoneStarJusticeAlliance.org. That's LoneStarJusticeAlliance.org. Check it out. Look at the information there. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, if you would, can I give you a couple of bullets?
Sure.
About it? Okay.
Hold on. Hold that right there. Let's go to one song.
Sure. Go ahead.
And when we come back, can we post that website on the KRG FM Facebook page?
Sure.
And then we'll hit the bullets.
Okay.
All right. So let's go right here, y'all. We're gonna take a break.
We're gonna take a commercial break. You guys
for the cause.
All right, we'll be right back.
Since we did go over.
Hey, KRG and hoodies. What's that about?
What's that?
You got them?
We're still on Facebook though.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if I may, can I slide out?
Sure. You're gonna come back and.
I'm going to the restroom.
Oh, okay.
Y'all got me held up in here like a hostage.
Wait, not me. Okay, yeah, there you go.
But yeah,
that's Pharaoh right there.
Pharaoh.
Hey,
Thank y'all out there so much for joining us and viewing us, guys. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it, guys. This is a great cause. It's a great cause, and we all here, we believe in it. We believe in it, and we do hope and pray that the word gets out there. Share this post today, guys. Share this post. I know y'all used to me getting on here talking about real estate, and I will continue next week. You know, I'll pick back up where I left off at. But this right here is very important. It's very important, and I know if it was you, you would love for someone to recognize that and say, hey, I got your back. Okay, it's nothing like a parent having their child ripped out of their arms for 23 years
And counting.
and counting and counting. Think about what he as a person has went through. 23 years. I'm 36 years old. Okay, so that means
Boy,
I
you
was
old.
13. Right? Am I right?
I don't know. Pull your phone out, do the math. It'll take you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He would be 50, I think it's like 52, 53 years old when he would just be up for parole.
Wow.
And see, think about what people don't understand. They don't get out. They don't get out. Even 5%, it says that 5% of kids
actually get out.
actually get, yeah. Texas is
But
bad.
even when they
Parole
get
system.
out, in their mind, they never get
They
out.
never get out.
Right, they don't.
That's the thing, yeah.
But they don't get out. I'm telling you, the parole system is set up to where they do not get out. They don't.
Mm.
And you know the sad part about it, man, is
It's
keeping it real.
genocide. It's genocide.
It's what it is, keeping it real, man, because you know what, it's only against people of color mostly.
Oh yeah, that's one of the bullets I touched on.
Yeah, but it's mostly one, because you know what, you never hear about anybody else.
No.
And if you do, it's only because somebody brought it to light and they have to talk about it. You know what I mean? So,
And what I love about this, it's not a bashing session.
No,
It's
no,
not a
no.
bashing session. It's informative. It's information. We're not saying, hey, I hate this system. I hate that. I hate that.
No.
It's change that Larry and the attorney and whomever else gets on board is trying to bring to light. You know, and that's what I love about it. I love about it.
I believe in justice.
Right.
When my son was in the juvenile system, and I went to go see him. I mean, he was crying like a baby.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay, I mean, just crying like, Daddy, I don't want to go to jail. I said, well, son, you committed a crime, and so you have to pay for that.
Right.
You don't get away scot-free.
Right.
But again, it's about the science. They don't connect the dots.
Right.
What they see with the games is just not reality to them.
Well, let
Yeah.
me say this, man, if I may, Larry. You're that 1% Ron was talking about. Even though you were deployed, man, you still made it a habit, man, to try to instill in your son. Let me tell you why I said that. My daughter, man,
Yeah.
I didn't father her. So her boyfriend came to me a couple months ago, man, because he has a problem with what she's doing. This is on Saturday evening. Monday morning, she called me up, man, and called me everything but the son of God. I'm 49 years old, man. I spent 25 years of my life trying to raise you to be a better person.
Right.
And the only thing you do, man, is turn around and the only thing you do is turn around
Be
and
disrespectful.
be disrespectful. So, you know, at that point, all I can do, man, is pray for you and let you go.
Right.
I commend you, man, because even though you have deployed all the stuff in the military, man, you're still in your son's life.
Still
Oh yeah.
It hurts me not to be in her life, man, but sometimes it's better for me to walk away and hurt than stay there and be pained. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's my heart, man. He's my firstborn son. Firstborn.
why do all these tails want to work when I say don't?
And the good thing,
What's the
I mean,
commonality
if
in
you
that?
can ever find
Let's
good
not go there.
in
Tell
anything, at least when he gets out, he will be able to help and be that
That's what
person
he wants to do.
to help other children
Yeah.
that may be going down that same path and say, hey guys, stop. It may seem like it's cool right now, but spending almost a whole life sentence in prison is not the way you want to go,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what he wants to do. He wants
He
to.
wants to come out and help.
And see, the beautiful part about all this, there's a silver lining in this.
Mhm.
Even though he's been in there incarcerated,
Yeah.
you just said it, he got 2 degrees. right?
Right.
He's done more than the average person walking the streets will ever do.
Right.
In prison. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's always a silver lining.
Sure, and I do think
You know what I mean?
sometimes that if he hadn't got locked up, what might have happened is
You don't know.
gang guns. Because
Right.
I had no clue. that he was
Because
in
guess
gang.
what?
Had no clue.
Kids, I used to drive trucks, man, and I would go to Laredo a lot. Laredo, there's kids go down there every day that don't know nothing about gangs, and they get sucked into them, and they still think it's a normal lifestyle. And I mean, there's people here in Killeen that are involved in that.
Right.
So it's a trade-off. You know what? Yeah, it hurts because he's not here, but let's hope and pray that happens.
Yeah.
Now he can get out, man, and stop somebody else from doing the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
But let me tell you this too. It was because you find out all kind of things as this goes along. Is that when Fort Polk closed down, a lot of gangs and everything got transferred here. They came here, and what they were doing, they would look for kids, military kids, because most of the time, most of us have weapons.
right.
So
right.
they would try to get you in the game,
Yeah.
get you to steal your parents' weapon. I mean, it's man, I just found out, man, there's just so much stuff going on in this town that you just
That you don't
realize.
know.
You just don't
Yesterday at work, I work at Temple. Yesterday at work, a little kid backed into a car at the gas station. I'm in their apartment. I see it happen. His mama walks down the street, baby in tow, man. She 38 high. Come down there, gave him the baby. And the cops sitting there looking at him. They should have arrested him because he didn't have a license.
know.
But guess what the cop did?
That mama held it.
I'm going to let your mama, man, give you this business, man, put on you. And the lady in the car was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? It was just a little pump.
Right.
It was the principle behind it. Why you driving the car?
Yeah.
Hey, when that dude got in that car, I'm sure he won't drive a car for a while because mama was on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you finding the music?
Hey guys, we're back. It's me, Keneshia, Larry, JB, and Mr. Ron. The music, actually, Ron, I think, picked it out because I had a different song.
Today, I'm
Okay.
talking about Lone Star Justice Alliance.
Yeah.
He found it. Don't worry about it. He don't want to talk about it. Let's go.
Yeah, we are talking about Lone Star Justice Alliance. Larry, before we went on the break, you were getting ready to talk about your bullet points.
Yeah, a couple of bullets. Just so folks will know. You know that the United States is the only country in the world that sentences children to life without parole.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
I know that.
Around 2,500 children worldwide have been sentenced to life without the possibility of parole for crimes committed when they were under the age of 18. There are significant difference. Well, we'll put it this way: children of color are sentenced to life without parole 10 times more often than
Their
white youth.
counterparts.
Yes. Okay. And again, it talks about the Supreme Court, the ruling that came down as far as giving a child life sentence without the possibility of parole. And like I said, Texas is behind that. And that's one thing, like I said, that the Lone Star Justice Alliance is working on to get Texas to catch up
Okay.
to
So
start
how
doing this.
impactful would it be for the citizens of Texas, Bell County, to hit their congressman, start writing towards their city council, putting the press on the government to let's take a look at this. This is not right. If we can do it for gay rights, why can't we do it for youth rights?
That is man, that's a good point. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, because I know one time, Larry, you were saying that you put a petition together.
Yeah, well, the petition was to raise funds. That's what I was.
Hey, have you guys ever used change.org? Have y'all done that yet?
What's that?
There's a website called change.org.
No, I'm not familiar.
I'll tell you what,
About.
Brett, okay, I had a friend of mine in Atlanta. He took his car to a dealer, get it fixed, and the guy screwed him. So he did change.org, and they took his license from him. Change.org is a website that's monitored by the government, When something's not going right, it's like doing a petition. If enough people sign this petition, somebody in that state or that city or wherever it is, man, somebody in that government will see it, and they will act on it. You guys should look into that.
Okay.
It's called change.org. Okay. Yeah. And it's just like doing a GoFundMe account on Facebook.
But just information.
But it's information. You put what you're trying to do, put the cause, because you can also raise money on that.
Yeah.
For your cause. Yeah. So that's why I brought it up.
Yeah. So it's different avenues.
Listen, this thing you got right here in front of us, that is your best tool right there.
Right.
So everybody's on social media these days.
Right.
Yeah. What's the young lady's name? Christina Brown? Is that it?
Where?
The young lady that was sold. She was a friend of the family that was living in the home with the parents. I think it was when she was 14.
Okay.
That was pimping her out.
What?
Oh yeah.
And,
I remember that. Yeah.
And she was literally sold into slavery. To child slavery. So she killed her. I think it was around, she was 14 or 15. She killed the person that was
selling her out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they gave her life.
Oh.
Without the possibility of parole. I think her name was Christina Brown.
I think that's what it was too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
was it here in Texas?
I don't know. I forgot where it was.
Let me see.
Because over here in Texas, and it's on the Alliance's radar. Trust me.
Well,
because they got a listing of everybody, every child that was given a sentence.
So good.
And also, Larry, real quick, people don't believe this. Hit up trucking companies, because human trafficking is what we're talking about. They are very, very. There's an alliance of truckers. If we see something, we report it. You know what I mean? And they're on it right away, and they've saved thousands of children from being, it's not the same thing we're talking about, but it's just another avenue, man, to get money raised and get word out. You know what I mean?
But really need money and really to get the word out. So, if folks would, like especially in churches, just start spreading social media, start putting it out. So as many people, the more people that find out about
I'll tell you what, this young lady right here, she's brilliant in what she does. In real estate, she really is.
Right.
Oh yeah. And, she's been on our show.
Right, this my girl.
And, she's been on our show a couple of times. You know, our show, man, ain't nothing like what she did. We just get on acting folk, but what she's doing right here, this right, Facebook Live,
right.
The whole world's watching this.
Right.
Well, let me tell you this now. He was talking about earlier. I will tell you that this year I went before the Texas legislature. I went before the House.
Oh,
in Austin?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
I testified before then, because what happened, there's a bill, I believe it's called, I think it's 1245, I believe. I'm not certain. But anyway, that was the second look bill. So what happens, they had to, discuss it, hear different people came to back it. And so it was voted out of the, what do you call it? Out of committee. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
So
you're fine.
it was voted out of committee to be brought before the floor.
Okay.
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 But what happened was it got tied up to
As
where
they always do.
it didn't make it onto the calendar, because
Right.
then it's got to get voted onto the calendar.
Right, yeah.
So now what's going to happen? 2019, we got to start all over again.
Oh.
Well, you know what? This is your perfect avenue.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least
right.
now you have
the
a
more
force.
stuff, the more stuff you have behind you,
Right.
with the
Right.
change.org and people raising money, churches, all this stuff.
Right. That's what it
They're
is.
straight in
Right.
numbers.
Right.
They're straight in
Exactly.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
That's it right
Yeah.
there. Strength in numbers.
Right. So if I get, you find out who your local representative is, the districts, even though they don't come back
Well,
to
it needs to
session
start here, like Ron
2019.
said. It needs to start with city council here. Get out, go downtown to these city council meetings. One of them meetings held,
Where are they?
the winner they had, like
When they
Tuesday
held-
nights, right?
It's like
Yeah,
the
it's-
second
I think it's
Tuesday,
Tuesday,
or
something
something
like
like that.
that.
Second Tuesday. of
Okay,
the month.
listeners, if you're listening to us right now and you're listening to KRG and this show, please, let's help support Larry and let's help support this lawyer to get this stuff out.
Right.
Go to your city council meetings, talk to your councilman, write them letters, email them, hit them up in the street, quarter them in the restaurant. Do whatever you got to do. But let's get this out.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sorry.
it right there.
Yeah, her name is I think Centonia Brown. Yeah, and it was in the state of Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
So, but I know that they're doing something like that as well for her case. I don't know if it's part of your organization, but that leads to my question: is there another organization or other organizations throughout the United States, or does this organization
There is.
state specific?
The one I asked you about earlier is the Innocence Project. That's what I was talking about. They're doing the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, this is Texas. This is Texas. But trust me, she's got her arms in everything because she goes to DC.
And that's
she
where
goes
it's
all
big.
over the place. Yeah,
You go to this shit, get in the house, and that's it, man. You got it there.
and,
You know what I mean?
she's gone before the Senate.
Yeah,
I'll tell
that's
you,
good.
Elizabeth Henneke is heavy.
I think I
She
want
is
to talk
heavy.
to her.
I think I want to meet her too.
Henneke.
Yeah, tell her I want to talk to her.
Miss
I would
Henneke,
love
you
for her
listen.
to come out and talk with us on the radio.
Hey, she live in Austin?
Yeah, she lives in Austin.
Hey,
Can we
35
go to
North,
her?
This woman,
297.
hey, let me tell you something. This woman for 2 years,
Yeah.
because we've been working on this for 2 years.
Okay.
She put her children, her little babies, and her husband all to the side to do this. I mean, to get this thing done.
Right.
I'm telling you. I mean, if my wife was to come to me and say, "Hey, I need to take $70,000 out of my account to blah blah blah,"
You need
Like,
to be on the
are
next
you
thing smoking
crazy?
Mars. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, but you would let her do it. You would let her do it.
I would.
For a cost?
But I'm just saying, the average person, when you think
The
about
average person.
it, and
Yeah.
then
The
she
average.
continues to take money out of her own
Person.
business
Yeah.
to keep funding it.
Right. Right.
Well, that's huge.
She ain't
man.
been
That's
paid.
huge.
That is
And
She
then
has not paid
to
herself.
have the family back her up is even more.
Right.
huge.
Yeah, and her husband's a
Man.
prosecutor.
Oh, yeah, he
Ah.
good. He good.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
prosecutor.
They're lawyers. What
Yeah,
they do?
yeah.
So well, let's see if we can maybe set up some type of youth awareness summit.
Mm.
And I definitely would talk to Mr. Vincent Noble.
Okay.
And see if there's something, and also Rodney Duckett, who is heavily involved with the youth in our community.
Oh.
So and see if we can't set up maybe a youth alliance summit and just speak to parents and kids and maybe impact KISD, because I know just speaking with Simply T,
Mm-hmm.
there's
Shout out 17.
there are some horrible issues that are going on with the youth within the KISD school system,
Yeah.
as well
Right.
as the homes here in Central Texas. So let's try to do that. And maybe and I guarantee you there's pastors that know kids that are
At risk.
impacted
Right.
at risk.
Because you know what
So-
Sympathy does at school, right?
Yeah.
She's
the
that
counselor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we can definitely maybe bring more awareness to the Lone
Awareness.
Star Justice
Right.
Alliance. And,
Right.
Mr. Larry,
Yeah.
look, we're going to get it out there, man. Trust me. If it comes here,
I'm not talking-
Yeah.
Did he
we're going
not
to get
hear
it
me?
out. No,
Did
I'm
he
sorry.
not hear me talking?
No, I ain't talking. Go ahead.
Let me turn the accept the headphones. So
You're gonna turn your mic down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get Ms. Henny get down here
I'll talk
Right.
to you.
and
I'll talk to
have her sit in on the summit. And I know definitely Ms. Carrie Ann Frazier, who is with the Harker Heights Police Department, that is very heavy with the sex trafficking, domestic violence, and youth abuse right here in Central Texas. So there's a large amount of individuals that can be involved. Ms. Lolita and Charles Gilmore,
Okay.
who runs the rescue center, at risk center,
Oh wow.
right here in Central Texas.
What
So
about
Right.
the chief of police? Police.
yeah, he should be
Yeah,
involved.
he's involved too.
Police in Harker Heights as
Yeah.
well. That's the one in Nolanville. So so that we bring awareness.
Awareness.
And definitely there's probably parents out there who has been to the courthouse
Right.
more times than they should have gone, and not understand the impact of the things that you've gone through, Mr. Larry. So
Because they probably don't have a voice like you do now.
Yeah.
And that's what's hard about it, not having a voice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It is. And like I said, we give sometimes we as parents, and I shouldn't have, but like I said, I just gave up because I just saw no way out.
Hey,
And,
if I may
yeah.
say, you can't say you shouldn't have. You know what? Because it's only human.
Yeah.
It's only human, man.
I'm glad that you didn't, but
Yeah, I'm glad you did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what's the greater impact that your son didn't give up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So
Right.
That should be your
Exactly.
inspiration right now.
Yeah.
Right.
He is. He
Because
is.
of what he's done, 2 degrees,
Right.
probably working on a third. He's never been in trouble.
Never
He's
been
not
in
part of a
trouble.
gang.
Right.
That speaks volumes
It's
right
hope.
now.
It's
Yeah, man.
hope.
That's all it is.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah, he never gave up. Never
And
gave
I
up.
know it's hope for you people out there. I'm sure it's other people out here going through that. And I'm
Yeah.
sure this story is hope, hope for them. They may be at that point where you were at to give up.
Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And then they see you 23 years down the line and you're fighting. Like, that's hope.
Had his
Guess
son
what?
given up, he would be sitting there
Right.
advocating.
Right.
Because you're still here talking
Right.
about it on this radio station.
Right.
If that's not hope, I don't know what is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
So all things are possible through Christ.
That's it.
All
That's it.
things.
All
All
things.
things. I'm telling you that right
All the
now.
glory goes to him, yeah.
All the
That has
glory.
been-
Yep.
All the glory. And don't give up. So to everyone out there, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. It wasn't about real estate, but it was about life, like I said. And the website again is LoneStarJusticeAlliance.org. Please check it out. Please check it out and stay tuned. Like Ron was saying, let's get some type of program together in our city for awareness. So thanks again, guys, for tuning into the show. And I pray that you guys have a blessed, beautiful week this week. Bye, y'all.
All right, everybody. So listen, all of the KRGN listeners, I tell you what,
Yeah.
hey, we're going to post this website on the KRGN Facebook page. So if you can't do